When ignorant people know your weaknesses, they will always exploit it to their own advantage. What does it mean to be truly plugged into your higher self? It means that nothing of a negative nature in this world can ever affect you. Not anything that they say, do, anything that they try against you, anything that they tell others about you. It doesn't matter because they don't matter. Because all they are is exactly what you see right before you. Because their actions are their truth. And it isn't ever going to be any better than that for them. And they know it. That's why they project their negativity on you. So stay plugged into your higher self because you don't want to find yourself where they are because they can't get out of that. They're going to be trapped there for their entire life this time. And they're going to have to come back again and again and again until the old noodle wakes up and says, wait a minute, this is a hologram. I think I should ascend now instead of being a low vibrational, human piece of trash and just feeding the negativity of the world, because that's what you're really looking at as a bottom feeder. People that enjoy watching others fall and get hurt. That's why they watch the news. That's why they tune into TikTok, because they want to know all the drama, all the gossip, the negativity. They want to know that there's somebody out there in the world that's got it 1,000 times worse than them, and that's how they get off on that. That's what they love. They love to know that somebody else in the world is suffering 1,000 times worse than they are, because that's what makes them feel better about themselves, because you're dealing with dysfunctional units. So you have to not allow that to affect you anymore. Then you'll know you are plugged into your higher self. When somebody can insult you or attempt to embarrass you or belittle you or degrade you or denigrate you or berate you in front of people or say things that aren't true, or perhaps they know something about you because you've been intimate with the person and they say it in a very condescending, sarcastic manner, like throwing it in your face, whatever the case may be. You have to take yourself to that higher self and stay plugged in, because that means that no matter what they say or do or anybody like them, and there's billions of them out there like that, trust me, no matter what they say or what they do, it's not going to affect you. And you won't be lying to yourself when they say these ridiculous things, because that's the extent of their intelligence if you haven't figured it out. People will always show you who they are. People will always allow you to see what they are through their actions. And if somebody tells you about themselves, believe it, because it's the truth. So you can't expect somebody to be something that they're not. You can't expect them to give you something they don't have to give for themselves or to themselves. You cannot expect them to become something that forces them to exceed the limitations of their own intellectual capacity. So, like I always say, you cannot fault an individual for something they've never possessed. Unfortunately, that falls in the category of common sense, intelligence, compassion, human decency, kindness. Some people just blurt because they don't know any better. They don't have that mechanism in the brain that says, hey, wait a minute, before you say that, you might want to rethink your ink, because if you throw that out there, it's going to be indelible. And they just like, God, you're fat. God, you're stupid. Your mother just got huge. I heard you got fired. They don't know any better. You see the most hideous atrocities happening in the world. And instead of running to somebody's aid, to assist them, to help them, what do? They break out the cell phone. They're like, start video, and they just upload it viral because they don't know any better. That's the extent and the limitation of their intellectual capacity and their offerings to the world. So when this video comes out and you're actually watching it and you're embracing what I'm saying, it will give you the realization of the fact as to why they are the way they are, and for you to stop taking them so seriously. Because when you give them relevance, that's how they're going to hurt you. Like I've said from the beginning of my channel, the reason people have the power to hurt you is because you gave it to them. You gave them the power by caring what they think and say about you or anything. And that is a surrendering of your energy, whether you realize it or not. So when you don't care about what they think or say or feel about you or anything because they can't think for themselves, you, my friend, did not surrender your energy, your power, or your control over to individuals that don't deserve to be in possession of these things. So therefore, they can't hurt you because you don't care what they say. And in those moments that they're saying the most ridiculously ignorant things, because that's all they can say, it's not bothering you and you're not lying to yourself, because let them just yammer on, because that's all they can do. That's the level and extent of what they have to offer the world, because they don't even have anything for themselves of a substantial nature to give themselves. That's why they do what they do, because what you see is what you get when it comes to characters like that. So when they say the most ridiculously ignorant things, it is indicative of the individual and the source of the transmissions of where these things are emanating from. And that, my friend, is the truth. So if you say something ridiculously ignorant, that means you are ridiculously ignorant. Or else you wouldn't be saying things like this. If you actually had consideration and courtesy for others and you respected their feelings, you wouldn't be saying these things. But the fact that they're being said and just blurted out there for all the world to hear is clearly indicative of the level of intelligence of the individual, where they are on that ladder, so to speak. And they, my friends, are on the bottom rung. Trust me. And they're not going to go any higher, not in this life. So stop giving them power over you by caring what they think or feel or say or whatever it is, because they don't deserve it, because nothing that's going on in that skull of theirs is worth your time, your attention, your effort, or your energy. It's not. This is where self-love comes into play. That is like a shield against the darkness of this world. You just honestly move through life enjoying yourself, being yourself, loving things, being happy, expressing yourself. If you want to walk around, go down the street and touch the trees and smell the flowers and take pictures in public. Who cares? Who cares what anybody does? Do what you got to do. You know, do what you got to do, man. But you're going to come across these types of characters, and it's a good thing because they will teach you about yourself. And they'll let you know if you care about what they think and you become self-conscious and inhibited, then you, my friend, are carrying elements of the matrix. You got to get rid of that stuff. If you're afraid to be yourself, fear of being ridiculed by others, inferiority complexes, self-conscious inhibitions, self-destructive patterns, all of these things, these people are your teachers. They will get you to realize within yourself that you have elements of energies that are detrimental to your journey, and you've got to get rid of them. You have to jettison these things because they've been holding you back. So let these people say the most ignorant, blatantly moronic things, these imbecilic ramblings, because that is the extent of the level of their intelligence or lack thereof. And I'm speaking truth here. I'm not speaking it in an insulting manner. There's nothing wrong about the truth. Bob Marley said it best. He says, the truth is an offense, but not a sin. Remember those words, because it's imperative that you thrive inside a reality of truth, not an illusion of lies, by people-pleasing and that euphemistic conditioning, soft language, telling people what they want to hear, but deep down inside you know it isn't the truth what you're telling them. You're just trying to fit in. And that's debasing and prostituting yourself, deliberately dumbing yourself down to fit in with people that don't deserve your time, let alone to be in your life. That's it.